TurboCASH.net. Free accounting downloads.
Now, those are some good laughs with Bun and Bunny right there. But now, if you look at the unemployment statistics these days, it could be quite a daunting prospect to have to live with every single day. But you don't have to be a victim of this, because starting your own business is a way that you can create your own employment, create your own income. And at the end of the day, who knows, you could be the next Richard Branson. Now, we're joined by Mr. Wayne Flint this morning, who's going to be telling us about how easy it actually is these days to start your own business. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. Yourself?
Very well, thank you. Always good to have you here. But we had a question from one of our Facebook users, and actually we get these a lot, actually, about how easy is it, or how difficult is it to start a business these days?
Well, it's quite easy at the moment. I mean, before you'd have to start a CC or a company. Nowadays, SARS and the government's made it much easier in that any company trading less than R1 million turnover in a year, you're not forced to have CCs, VAT numbers and all those other restrictions. So you can simply just trade in your own personal name, keep a simple set of records, and that's all you need to do as far as being legitimate as far as government goes. So you don't have to go around paying a lawyer or an accountant all these exorbitant fees, 30, 40,000 rand before you get started. Save all your money and push it into your own venture.
Because I remember starting to study accounting in my first couple of years, and you go through all of these kind of regulations of what it takes to start a business, you know, the red tape, if you want to call it that. And not only is it kind of, from an administrative point of view, very challenging, but financially as well. So right now you say it's much easier, where previously you had to make, I think, 300,000 rand a year in order to be able to, or to have to, register for VAT.
Over 300,000
And now it's R1 million.
I mean, like I said to you earlier, that 300,000 rand was the same amount for almost 20 years. And if you look at anything with appreciation, it should have changed 10 years ago. So they've now changed that finally to R1 million as far as turnover goes. But also what they've now done is that they realized that because the banks and everyone else, when you had a CC, you were always taught that it's a separate legal entity, therefore there was no risk. That's not actually true, because the banks and the creditors have realized that every time you went under, you liquidated, they took the risk. So what they're doing now is that they're taking you as a personal surety. You have to sign everything anyway. So forget the CC, just trade in your own name, because you legally still have to put your house on the line. Unfortunately, that's
I think that's the other reality that we also have to kind of acknowledge as well. That in as much as yes, the red tape has been minimized, you are still taking on the risk of creditors on a personal level.
I've had when I spoke to someone from the bank, I think a few weeks ago at a seminar, and I mentioned that to him. I said I made a bold statement saying that banks have not lent money to SMEs in this country in a long time. And he first tried to convince me that he did. I said, well, when last did you lend someone money who never put up the house? And the answer was no. Unfortunately, we don't lend money to people who don't take a risk on themselves. So there is always a risk in business. And if you don't take the risk, no one else is going to be willing to risk their money if you don't at least match their money.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like you're saying, okay, well, must you now just kind of lie down and die? You're like, okay, well.
No, look, as I said in the beginning, business has become very, very easy to start at the moment. And there are new initiatives from government. And it's a bit short this week, but next week I'll be talking about some new initiatives from government, because they recognize there's a big problem with unemployment, like you said. So they've got some new initiatives that are coming out to help kickstart SMEs, because that is the only lifeline that the country sees. I mean, we've got the Jobs Fund, which acknowledges that the only way we can create employment in this country is through SMEs. I mean, at the moment, worldwide, 20% of youth are unemployed, and in Africa, 60% of youth are unemployed. And if that keeps going, it's just obviously a bad sign. But like I said, it's very much easier for business to start now. And if you're an SME, stay lean and stay mean, keep the overheads down. It's a much better chance at getting going.
And interestingly enough, we were speaking a bit earlier on about Groupon, about how they can be advantageous not only to the consumer, but to the business as well.
There are many other avenues like Groupon who don't tax you revenue-wise, who's there to help you. So if you don't make money, they don't make money. So you've got to look at schemes like that. They're out there to help you. Like I said, I'd like to do an interview with them in a couple of weeks' time to discuss. I see you guys are covering the angle of the customer, but with the actual SME, there's a much better angle to cover how it's going to help them.
Indeed. Well, sir, thank you very much. I think we'll get you in the interview chair next time. We'll put you in, you can talk to the guys from Groupon. Now, stay tuned. We will be telling you all about Groupon, exactly how to activate your own membership and how to enjoy your city for up to 70% less. Now, we're joined today by our special guest star, Chad Simon, who underwent a traumatic ordeal a couple of months ago. But before we chat to him, take a look at one of these music videos.